do think that there's a growing sense of a need for a change in the direction of the way they go about their business. For me personally, I think they're the most well-run financial club in Britain, as far as the board's concerned, the way they go about it. But I think trying to balance that between that and the demands and expectations of the Celtic fans is where we're getting this anger.
How do we know, right, that Celtic haven't tried to spend 10, 12 million pounds on a player, Pete, or 15 million pounds?
Well, can I tell you something, Neil?
Can we attract players of that quality, of that price?
Do you think
Scotland?
Did anybody the Celtic fans that when you were manager, suddenly turn around and say we want a £10 million player? I don't think there's a Celtic fan out there that I've spoken to wants the board to shell out 10 million on a player. Those days when you played in that side was a golden era for Celtic in spending. Mm-hmm. To get someone like yourself at 6 million, to get Chris Sutton, fortunately at 6 million because he had a troubled time at Chelsea. Mm-hmm. But they brought, the cheapest guy I think in the team was Didier Agard at 50,000. They were shelling out good money and good weekly wages, and they had a world-class player and a Champions League winner to boot when Martin arrived. So he played really good money. Those days were gone, and the Celtic board acted properly and prudently and changed the narrative and said, look, those days are gone, we're changing it. And that, when they were going through that transitional period, Rangers were able to capitalise and get a few titles in there. But once they actually got to a situation where they said, this is the blueprint, we're going to sign players and move them on and make a profit. Mm-hmm. And that was key to it, and obviously Champions League. And then look and say to themselves, well, Rangers are not in the league, we don't need to spend and blow the budget. But when Rangers come back in, they thought, right, we need to spend this amount to win the league, and then Champions League's just not our level. Europa League maybe, Conference possibly. But nobody's asking for £5 or £10 million players, but that recurring theme of last minute deals has come back to the table. It changed from Ange a wee bit, but this recurring wait to the last day of the transfer window. At the start of the month, they build their hopes up with Brendan's looking for 4 quality players. By the end of the month, they brought 2 loan signings in. So,
who?
Celtic. They brought Kuhn in and Ida. Ida's on loan, sorry, Kuhn's a signing. So
they spent 3 million on him.
Yeah, so there's 3 million with a club who's got 72 million in the bank, and there's a 60 million pound
rolling dice. What I'm saying is, Pete, like, you know, I'm sure they've looked around for these type of players. They might not be available. They might not want to come.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that they're out of the Champions League might not be as appealing as it were at the start of the season as well. And they've spent some money in the summer. You know, I don't know many players they've brought in. Whether the fans think they're good enough or not is another thing.
Well, that's the key to it. That's the key to it.
That's a matter of opinion. That's nothing to do with, you know, the board's decision to spend the money on it.
But I'm saying to you, I think the Celtic fans are looking and saying, wait a minute, you can't have projects and ones for the future constantly. I think that's what's irritating them. It's worked on
treble last year.
Absolutely, it's worked on 1 or 2, but there's for every 1 and 2 good players.
It's not exact science. You're not going to get them all right.
Yeah, I'm asking you that question.
You're not going to get them all right, but there's, like, I'll give you an example. Matt O'Reilly.
Yeah.
What was he, 1.5 million?
1.2 million.
There you go. He's going to go for 25, 30 million.
Yep.
You know, that's brilliant recruitment, brilliant business, and brilliant development from Ange and Brendan.
And the board have no sold him. Just there with
they could have sold
That's
him.
a positive.
So you think it's? Do you think? And I'm playing the devil's advocate here. Do you think basically it's a case of listen, it's not going according to plan?
I think the fans are worried about the way where the championship's going. You know, there's a title race on, and like I say, we haven't had that for a long time. And Celtic don't have a divine right to win any league. They've got to go and earn it. And that's what I'm saying now. You know, the window's shut. It's up to the players now. I believe they're good enough to win the league. I believe they've got the coach who's been and done it at Celtic before, and he's got the qualities and the capabilities. But they've got a challenge on, you know, and it's part of football. You don't win every league by 15, 20 points.